The horror story of Girl in Horror House began when David moved to a new town with his family. The house they bought was old and looked like it belonged in a scary movie. David heard rumors about the house being haunted, but he didn't believe in ghosts. One day, while exploring the attic, he found an old, dusty diary belonging to a girl named Emily. The diary's first entry read, "This is the horror story of Girl in Horror House. My name is Emily and I am trapped here." David's heart raced as he read on. Emily wrote about strange noises, shadowy figures, and a cold presence that always seemed to follow her. She described how she felt watched, even when she was alone. David felt a chill down his spine. He closed the diary, but curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to continue reading the next day. That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept hearing whispers and soft footsteps outside his room. He tried to ignore them, but it felt like something was getting closer. The next morning, David woke up with dark circles under his eyes. He grabbed the diary and continued reading. Emily wrote about a dark figure she saw in her room every night. It stood in the corner watching her with glowing red eyes. She called it the Watcher. David's hands trembled as he read Emily's description of the Watcher getting closer every night. David decided to investigate. He searched the house for any clues about Emily and the Watcher. In the basement, he found an old, broken mirror covered in dust. As he wiped it clean, he saw a reflection of a young girl standing behind him. He turned around, but no one was there. The girl looked just like Emily from the diary. Terrified, David ran upstairs and locked himself in his room. That night, he felt a cold breeze and saw a shadowy figure in the corner of his room. It was the Watcher. He remembered Emily's words and felt a deep sense of fear. The Watcher's glowing red eyes pierced through the darkness, and David felt frozen in place. David tried to scream, but no sound came out. The Watcher moved closer, whispering in a language David couldn't understand. Suddenly, David remembered something Emily wrote. "The Watcher feeds on fear. You must show no fear, or it will take you." Summoning all his courage, David closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He thought of happy memories and forced himself to feel brave. When he opened his eyes, the Watcher was gone. The room felt warmer, and the oppressive feeling lifted. David spent the next few days learning more about Emily. He discovered that she had disappeared mysteriously, and her family moved away soon after. He vowed to help her find peace. He read the final pages of the diary and found a ritual to banish the Watcher. That night, David performed the ritual, chanting the words Emily had written. The house shook, and a chilling wind howled through the rooms. The Watcher appeared one last time, its eyes blazing with anger. David stood his ground, repeating the chant. With a final, deafening scream, the Watcher vanished into thin air. The house grew silent. David felt a sense of relief wash over him. He hoped Emily's spirit was finally free. He placed the diary back in the attic, saying a silent goodbye to the girl who had suffered so much. The horror story of Girl in Horror House had come to an end, but David knew he would never forget Emily or the terrifying events he had faced. The house no longer felt haunted, and he hoped that Emily had found peace at last.